Alright, welcome to my first episode of Manga of the Week. This week's manga is Shaman King, a shonen action series written and drawn by Hiroyuki Takei. Its original run was from 1998 to 2004. Now, when I say shonen action, action is just a genre, like action movie, but shonen is a demographic that series is trying to reach. Shonen is usually for males 12 to 18, as opposed to seinen, which is males 18 to 34, shoujo, females 12 to 18, and josei, females 18 to 34. So your basic premise is you got these people called shamans. They can interact with ghosts and spirits and such. Every 500 years, there's this thing called the Shaman Tournament. It's got multiple stages, and the winner gets to use the Great Spirit as the basis for their oversoul. And the Great Spirit is like the gestalt of all souls, where every piece of life comes from. And the winner of the tournament, the Shaman King, gets to form their oversoul by having the Great Spirit possess the universe, which grants them godlike powers. They can remake the world however they want. And there's lots of different cultures and locales and spiritualities and kinds of spirits, not explored, certainly not, but at least featured. We've got Japanese Shinto, we've got Chinese Buddhism and Taoism, we've got some Aztec mythology, a little bit of Norse, Native American stuff, some Jewish folklore with golems, some German stuff with Felix Faust and necromancy, that type of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. So your main character is this kid named Yo Asakura. He's around 16, and he comes from a long line of Japanese shamans. He's rich, really rich. And he's really lazy. When I say really lazy, I mean his entire motivation for becoming the Shaman King is so that he can remake the world to make everybody happy and comfortable, so that he doesn't have to work ever again. He can just hang out with friends and listen to music. He's basically just, working his butt off so that he can expend all of his energy on one task so that he'll never have to do anything that he doesn't want to ever again. I never really liked him as a protagonist. That's not a very high quality motivation you want, in your role model protagonist or whatever. But it works. It works. Especially up against his antagonist, a boy the same age who kind of looks like him, named Hao Asakura. Now, he claims to be the founder of the Asakura clan, which doesn't make sense, because the Asakura clan was founded 1,000 years ago. What he wants to do is become the Shaman King and kill all non-shamans, because he believes that anyone who can't see ghosts is evil and should be dead. Spoilers! One of the later reveals is that Hao can reincarnate himself. So, he actually did start the Asakura clan 1,000 years ago. He died 500 years later. The Shaman fight comes. He reincarnates himself as a Native American, and then when that doesn't work out, he dies again, reincarnates himself, but problem is he's reincarnating himself in an Asakura, and the Asakura woman is having twins. So one half of his soul becomes regular Hao, but the other side becomes Yo. The main characters that form, Yo's, band of merry men, I'd say I like most of them. You have Ryunosuke Umemiya, better known as Wooden Sword Ryu, because he uses a wooden sword to fight, even when he wasn't a shaman. His whole thing is like snakes, and he wants to be the Shaman King so he can find his happy place, somewhere where he can finally be home, because Before he was a shaman, he and all of his friends were homeless, and he was in a gang, and he never really felt at home anywhere. He was always on the run. I always liked him because, snakes are a cool motif, but also because he was very loyal and he wasn't going to, stab anyone in the back. Then you've got an Ainu kid named Horo Horo. He's got like a snowboard, and he's got like ice-related moves. I thought I was going to like him because I really love, fire and ice moves, that type of thing. But I didn't, because Horo Horo is the stupid guy of the group, and that's just really, really tired and trite, and that's pretty much all he had until the very end. Then you had Tao Ren, who was a Chinese shaman from a long line of Chinese shamans, and he, like Yo, is rich, but he wants to use the Shaman King to regain his family's honor because they were most of them were killed in this like witch hunt type of thing, even though his immediate family is all still alive. He has father, mother, sister, grandparents. Tao Ren he's very forceful, he's very blunt, but he's very likable because he knows what he wants, and his motto is, "I will not waver." He usually says it in Chinese in their subtitles, but it's always there. Either way, Horo Horo's motivation is that he wants to make a field of butterbur. I don't know what kind of plants those are, because a childhood friend really wanted them, and he let her die for some reason. That's explored later. I'm not going to get into that. It ends with everybody except Tao dropping out, because he's just killed everybody that he's gone up against and had Spirit of Fire eat their ghosts. The way power levels work is you have mana units that you can expend and regenerate over time. Like hit points basically in Pokemon. But Yo, the main character, he's said to have the second highest mana count out of everyone in the tournament, and his fully charged count is 10,000, right? But the person who has the highest mana count and the most to expend and the most raw power is Hao with 1,250,000. So there's no way anyone can go up against him with any hope of winning or even coming out of it alive. So they all drop out. Hao becomes king, becomes one with the great spirit. They try to get to him before he becomes one with the great spirit. But obviously it doesn't work because he's got godlike powers now. He's not going to take anything from anyone. So he wakes up, he becomes king. Everybody dies. Now this is where I started to not like what was going on. Everybody dies, and they all meet him within the realm of the Great Spirit where the Shaman King lives. Instead of fighting him, they bring his mom up to him, and his mom wasn't a shaman. She couldn't see ghosts. And she came to remind him that, not everybody who couldn't see ghosts was evil. He loved his mom. And Hao backs down. He's like, okay, I won't kill everybody. And that's the manga, folks. That I really didn't like that ending. Again, if the type of manga you like is, action, where you've got like this cast of snowflakes, no two look the same, and if this is the type of thing where you like that kind of series, and if the concept sounds good, I'd say it's a worthwhile read. I'd give it 7.5, 8 out of 10. So if you've got a question, a comment, or recommendation, put that below. The next manga I'll be reviewing is Shingeki no Kyojin, or Advance of the Giants. This time it's a seinen action series, so it's supposed to be a bit more mature than Shaman King. So look for that next week.